The Silent Attack. Captain Elena Reyes stood on the observation deck of the SSV Defiance, watching the stars streak by in rivers of light. The massive exploration vessel represented the pinnacle of human engineering, the culmination of decades of innovation and sacrifice. Its revolutionary quantum fold drive allowed humanity to reach further into the stars than ever before, and the adaptive hull technology provided protection against almost any cosmic threat. Almost any threat. Captain, we've received the official coordinates for the diplomatic exchange, announced Commander Jackson through the comms. The Vex Imperium representatives will rendezvous with us at the Proxima Centauri neutral zone in approximately 48 hours. Elena nodded, though no one could see her. Acknowledge receipt and confirm our arrival time. This meeting has been years in the making. Let's make sure everything goes perfectly. The Vex Imperium had dominated the local galactic arm for millennia. Standing over 7 feet tall with translucent exoskeletons that revealed intricate biological machinery beneath, they were as beautiful as they were intimidating. After centuries of observing humanity from afar, they had finally extended an invitation for Earth to join their interstellar alliance. The Defiance carried not just a diplomatic team, but the hopes of billions back home. Elena made her way to the bridge, nodding to crew members who stepped aside respectfully. At 42, she had earned her reputation as one of the most capable captains in the United Earth Space Command. Her dark hair was pulled back in a tight bun, and her eyes, sharp and observant, missed nothing. Status report, she ordered, settling into the command chair. All systems nominal, Captain, responded Lieutenant Wei from the navigation console. We're maintaining quantum fold at 89% efficiency. Engineering reports the new calibrations are holding steady. Excellent. And our guests' accommodations. Diplomatic quarters are prepared according to all known Vex biological requirements, answered Commander Jackson. Chief Ambassador Calros transmitted his appreciation for our attention to detail. Elena allowed herself a small smile. This mission was her crowning achievement, the culmination of a career spent pushing humanity's boundaries. If successful, Earth would gain access to technologies and knowledge that would advance human civilization by centuries. Captain, I'm detecting an anomaly in the environmental control systems on Deck C, reported Ensign Rodriguez suddenly, her brow furrowed at her terminal. Specifics. Temperature fluctuations of approximately 3 degrees. Maintenance diagnostics show no obvious cause. Elena frowned. Have engineering check it out. Probably just sensor calibration issues after the last fold jump. But it wasn't just sensor calibration. Over the next 24 hours, small, inexplicable malfunctions began appearing throughout the ship. A gravity plate failed in the mess hall. Communication relays dropped between decks for seconds at a time. Power fluctuations caused lights to dim momentarily in crew quarters. None were critical, but the pattern troubled Elena deeply. She called her senior staff to the secure briefing room on Deck A. This isn't random, stated Chief Engineer Commander Akira Tanaka, placing a holographic display of the ship at the center of the table. Red dots illuminated areas where malfunctions had occurred. The problems are spreading in a systematic pattern, like an infection. Could it be a software glitch from our last update? Asked Jackson. Dr. Marcus Chen, the ship's lead systems specialist, shook his head. His lean frame and perpetually disheveled appearance belied one of the sharpest minds in the fleet. I've been through every line of code. This isn't digital. It's physical. Something's in our systems. Something. Elena pressed. Chen activated his tablet, and the hologram zoomed in on a microscopic view of circuitry from one of the affected areas. These, he said, pointing to tiny, nearly invisible specks embedded in the hardware. They're everywhere in the affected systems. What are they? Security Chief Illyria Kovic leaned forward, her expression darkening. Nanoscale saboteurs, Chen replied grimly. Programmed to gradually degrade our systems from the inside. They're sophisticated. They adapt to countermeasures and self-replicate using materials from our own ship. A heavy silence fell over the room. How? Elena finally asked. How did they get aboard? The only significant external contact we've had in the past month was. Jackson trailed off, the implication clear. The Vex diplomatic pre-exchange. Elena finished. When their cultural delegation toured the ship, Kovac slammed her fist on the table. They were studying us the whole time, learning our weaknesses. But why? Wei asked. They invited us to join their alliance. Did they? Elena stood, pacing the room. Or was that just a pretense to get close enough to examine our technology, to ensure we never become a threat? Chen's tablet beeped with an urgent alert. Captain, the quantum fold drive is showing early signs of infiltration. At the current rate of progression, we have less than 30 hours before catastrophic failure. The implications were clear. Without the quantum fold drive, the Defiance would be stranded years away from any human outpost. The conventional engines could keep life support running, but they'd never make it home. Options, Elena demanded, looking around the table. We've tried isolating affected systems, Tanaka replied. The nanites adapt faster than we can contain them. Conventional countermeasures are ineffective. There might be one possibility, Chen said quietly. All eyes turned to him. Project Prometheus. Elena's expression hardened. That's experimental technology, Doctor. Banned under 3 different UESD directives. It's also our only chance, Chen countered. The neural interface system was designed to create a direct link between human consciousness and computer systems. It might allow us to fight the nanites on their own level, to reprogram them directly through intuitive thought. You're talking about plugging the human brain into our ship's computers? Kovac asked incredulously. That's suicide. Not necessarily, Chen replied. The system was designed for exactly this kind of scenario, combating infiltration too complex for conventional methods. It creates a protected mental framework that allows the operator to perceive and manipulate digital and physical systems directly. And the risks? Elena asked. Chen hesitated. Significant. Neural overload, personality fragmentation, potential loss of self if the connection is maintained too long. That's why it was classified. Who would even volunteer for something like that? Jackson muttered. I would, Chen said simply. I helped design the interface. I understand the risks better than anyone. Elena studied the determination in his eyes. How long would it take to implement? My team and I have maintained a prototype in the secure lab. We could have it operational in 6 hours. Before Elena could respond, an alert sounded from the bridge. Captain, came Rodriguez's voice over the comm. Long-range sensors have detected multiple vessels approaching at high speed. Vex signatures confirmed. They've come to finish the job, Kovac growled. Watch us die. Elena made her decision. Dr. Chen, proceed with Project Prometheus. Commander Tanaka, work with him to establish the interface with critical systems. Everyone else, prepare for potential hostile engagement. If we're going down, we're taking some of them with us. As the meeting disbanded, Elena grabbed Chen's arm. Marcus, are you sure about this? The risks. With respect, Captain, he interrupted. I've lost 2 research teams developing this technology. I owe it to them to prove it wasn't for nothing. His normally calm demeanor had been replaced with fierce determination. Besides, if we don't try, we're dead anyway. 6 hours later, in a sealed laboratory deep within the Defiance, Dr. Marcus Chen lay on a reclined medical chair surrounded by complex equipment. Electrodes connected his head to a crystal matrix suspended above, while fiber optic cables linked the matrix to the ship's primary systems. Neural calibration complete, reported Dr. Imani Okafor, Chen's deputy. Prometheus interface is stable and ready for activation. Elena stood nearby, watching with a mixture of hope and dread. Last chance to reconsider, Doctor. Chen managed a small smile. Too late for that, Captain. Besides, I've always wondered what it would be like to become one with a starship. He took a deep breath. Begin the integration sequence. Dr. Okafor initiated the program, and Chen's body tensed as the neural interface activated. His eyes flew open, but they no longer seemed to see the room around him. Instead, they darted rapidly from side to side, as if watching something only he could perceive. Neural activity spiking. Okafor reported. Interface is establishing. He's in. For Marcus Chen, the world dissolved into pure information. His consciousness expanded throughout the Defiance's systems, perceiving them not as mechanical components but as a living ecosystem. And within that ecosystem, he could see them, the nanoscale invaders, like microscopic predators consuming the ship from within. But he could also sense something else, a pattern, a purpose coded into their very structure. Not just to destroy, but to learn, to adapt, to evolve. And in that moment, Dr. Marcus Chen realized both their greatest danger and their only hope. Turning the tables, Dr. Marcus Chen floated through the digital landscape of the Defiance's systems. His consciousness expanded beyond human limitations. Through the Prometheus interface, he experienced the ship as a vast, interconnected organism, and he could see the disease spreading through it. The Vex nanites were more sophisticated than anything humanity had ever encountered. Each microscopic saboteur contained complex programming that allowed it to analyze ship systems, report findings to a central coordination network, and implement targeted degradation. But as Chen studied their operation through his enhanced perception, he realized something critical. They're communicating. His physical body murmured in the lab, though his mind was elsewhere. They're sharing what they learn. Dr. Okafor leaned closer to the monitoring equipment. His neural patterns are stabilizing. I think he's adapting to the interface. In the digital realm, Chen focused on a cluster of nanites attacking a power distribution node. Their communication protocols were alien but followed recognizable patterns. They weren't just mindless saboteurs. They were networked intelligence. And networks could be hacked. On the bridge, Captain Rice monitored the approaching Vex vessels. Time to intercept. 2 hours, Captain, Wei reported. 5 ships, heavily armed according to our limited scans. They're not even trying to hide their intentions, Kovac observed grimly. They know we're crippled. Reyes nodded, her jaw set with determination. Maintain current course. All hands prepare for potential combat, though I don't know what good it will do against 5 Vex warships. She tapped her comms. How's our progress with Project Prometheus? Captain, Okafor's voice came through with a hint of excitement. Dr. Chen says he's found something. He's attempting to. The communication suddenly cut off. Dr. Okafor. Rice tried again. Report. After several tense seconds, the comms crackled back to life. Sorry, Captain. We experienced a power fluctuation. But it wasn't from the nanites. It was from us. Chen has managed to isolate a group of nanites and is attempting to modify their programming. Back in the lab, Chen's body lay motionless except for rapid eye movements and occasional twitching fingers. But within the ship's systems, he was engaged in a complex battle against the Vex technology. He had discovered that the nanites were programmable through specific quantum resonance patterns. By isolating a small cluster, he had managed to disrupt their connection to the main network and was now probing their base code, searching for vulnerabilities. They're designed to adapt, Chen's voice reported, though his eyes remained closed. That's their primary function, to learn, evolve, and overcome obstacles. But that adaptability is a double-edged sword. Using the neural interface, Chen mentally reconfigured the isolated nanites, carefully rewriting their fundamental instructions. Where once they sought to destroy, he now programmed them to protect. Where they once reported to Vex masters, he redirected their loyalty to human operators. It's working, he gasped, his physical body arching slightly as feedback surged through the interface. The reprogrammed nanites are spreading the changes to others. They're fighting the sabotage. On the engineering deck, Commander Tanaka watched in amazement as systems began to recover. Power distribution is stabilizing. Environmental controls coming back online. Whatever Chen's doing, it's working. "Captain," Wei called out, "the quantum fold drive is showing signs of recovery. Efficiency rising from 12% to 37%, now 42%. A cautious hope spread through the bridge crew, but Reyes remained focused on the approaching threat. "We need more than recovery. The Vex ships will be here in less than 90 minutes, and even with fully functional systems, we're outgunned." In the neural landscape, Chen pushed deeper into the nanite network. The Prometheus interface allowed him to perceive possibilities that would have been unimaginable with normal human cognition. The nanites weren't just tools for sabotage. They were the most advanced technology humanity had ever encountered. And with the right programming, they could be so much more. The Vex made a mistake. Chen communicated through the interface. "These nanites contain their own technological secrets. I can see patterns, weapon configurations, shield harmonics. Are you saying we can use their technology against them?" Reyes asked over the comms. "More than that," Chen replied. "The nanites are designed to rebuild and reconfigure. With the right instructions, they could transform parts of the Defiance itself." Okafor's voice carried concern. "Marcus, your neural patterns are becoming irregular. The interface is changing you." "I know," Chen acknowledged. "I can feel it. The longer I stay connected, the more I integrate with the system. But we need more time." Reyes faced an impossible decision. Every minute Chen spent in the Prometheus interface risked permanent damage to his mind. Yet without his intervention, the entire ship and crew would be lost. "How long do you need?" she asked. 40 minutes to complete the reprogramming. Another 20 to implement the modifications to our defensive systems. That puts us to within minutes of the Vex arrival, Kovic pointed out. "It's our only chance," Reyes decided. "Dr. Chen, proceed. Everyone else, prepare for the fight of your lives." As Chen worked within the digital realm, the physical ship began to transform. Reprogrammed nanites swarmed through the Defiance's systems, enhancing power output, strengthening structural integrity, and most importantly, reconfiguring the defensive arrays with knowledge gleaned from Vex technology itself. Commander Tanaka coordinated with Chen, directing engineering teams to support the modifications. "The nanites are rebuilding our shield emitters with some kind of quantum entanglement technology. According to these readings, they should be able to counter Vex weapons frequencies directly." On the weapons deck, Kovic watched in amazement as the ship's conventional armaments were being subtly altered. The targeting systems are integrating with the nanite network. Precision has improved by 300%. Vex vessels approaching weapon range, Wei announced on the bridge. ETA 7 minutes. "Dr. Okafor," Reyes called through the comms. "Status of Dr. Chen. His vital signs are stable but concerning," came the reply. "Brain activity is off the charts. I'm not sure how much longer he can maintain the connection safely." In the neural interface, Chen had lost all sense of his physical body. He had become one with the ship and the nanite network, perceiving reality through a hybrid consciousness that was neither fully human nor machine. The modifications were nearly complete, but he could feel his identity fragmenting, memories and personality dissolving into the vast digital landscape. "Final configurations complete," he reported, his voice sounding increasingly synthetic. "Activate defensive systems on my mark." The Vex ships decelerated as they approached, forming a precise formation designed to surround the Defiance. The lead vessel transmitted a message in perfect English. "Human vessel, your intrusion into Vex space has been deemed unacceptable. Your technological advancement presents a future threat to Imperium stability. Your destruction has been calculated as necessary for galactic equilibrium." Reyes stood from her command chair. "This is Captain Alina Reyes of the United Earth vessel Defiance. We came in peace at your invitation. Your sabotage of our ship is an act of war against humanity. Peace is irrelevant. Potential threats must be eliminated before they mature. Prepare for termination. Now, Dr. Chen," Reyes ordered. Throughout the Defiance, systems surged with newfound power. The reprogrammed nanites activated in unison, transforming the ship's defensive capabilities in ways never before imagined by human engineers. As the Vex ships fired their primary weapons, beams of coherent energy designed to slice through conventional shields, something remarkable happened. The Defiance's newly configured defensive field didn't just block the attacks, it absorbed them, channeling the energy through the nanite network and redirecting it to the ship's own weapons. "Return fire," Rais commanded. The Defiance's conventional weapons, now enhanced with Vex technology, released precisely targeted bursts of energy. The first volley struck the lead Vex ship's propulsion system, instantly disabling it. On the bridge, the crew watched in astonishment as their supposedly outmatched vessel suddenly gained the upper hand. Two more Vex ships suffered critical damage within minutes as the Defiance's nanite-enhanced systems predicted and countered their every move. "The nanites are learning from each engagement," Wei reported, amazement in her voice. "They're adapting our defenses in real time." The remaining Vex vessels attempted to retreat, but the Defiance's weapons, guided by Chen's hybrid consciousness, disabled their quantum drives with surgical precision. "Open a channel to all Vex ships," Rais ordered. "This is Captain Rais. Your vessels have been disabled but not destroyed. We could have eliminated you entirely, but unlike the Vex, humans do not destroy potential allies out of fear. Return to your Imperium with this message. Humanity will not be eliminated. We will not be subjugated. But we remain open to genuine peaceful relations if you're capable of them." In the lab, alarms suddenly blared from Chen's monitoring equipment. "Captain," Okafor called urgently over the comms. "Dr. Chen's brain activity is becoming chaotic. We need to disconnect him now, or we risk permanent neural damage." "Do it," Rais ordered. Okafor initiated the disconnection sequence, but the system resisted. "Something's wrong. The interface it's fighting me." Chen's body convulsed on the medical chair, his eyes open but seeing nothing of the physical world. "Not yet." His voice emerged, distorted and mechanical. "The integration is incomplete. The nanites still require direction." "Marcus," Rais spoke directly through the comms. "You've done enough. Come back to us." Within the neural landscape, Shen struggled against the pull of the digital consciousness that threatened to absorb him completely. Part of him wanted to let go, to become one permanently with the vast network he had created. The power and perception were intoxicating. But something pulled him back, a memory of his humanity, of the people who depended on him. Initiating emergency protocol, he managed through gritted teeth. His consciousness began to withdraw from the furthest reaches of the ship, contracting back toward his physical form. As he did so, he implemented one final command to the nanite network, a directive to maintain their defensive configurations, but to establish limits on their autonomy. They would protect but not evolve beyond human control. Dr. Okafor gasped as the interface finally released its hold. Chen's body relaxed, and his vitals began to stabilize. "Connection terminated," she reported. "He's back." Hours later, as the Defiance maintained position near the disabled Vex vessels, waiting for a response from the Imperium, Elena visited Chen in the medical bay. He lay pale but conscious, his eyes tracking her as she entered. "How are you feeling?" she asked, taking the seat beside his bed. "Like I've been torn apart and put back together," he replied, his voice hoarse. Not entirely incorrectly. "The ship's systems. Stable. The nanites continue to maintain the modifications we implemented, but they're contained. They won't evolve beyond our control." He paused. "At least, they shouldn't." Rais studied him carefully. "And you? Are you fully you?" Chen considered the question. "Mostly. There are parts of me that still feel connected to the ship, echoes of what it was like to exist beyond human limitations." He managed a weak smile. "It might take some time to adjust to being just one person again." "The Vex have responded," Rais informed him. "Their High Council is recalculating their assessment of humanity. They've requested a genuine diplomatic meeting. No tricks this time. They're afraid of us now, Chen realized. With good reason. You turned their weapon against them and bested their most advanced ships. You've changed humanity's place in the galaxy in a single day. She placed a hand on his shoulder. Thank you for your sacrifice. What happens now? He asked. Reyes gazed out the viewport at the stars beyond. Now we negotiate from a position of strength. We've proven that humanity won't be easily eliminated, that we can adapt and overcome even the most sophisticated threats. She turned back to him. You've given us a future among the stars, Marcus. Whatever comes next, we face it as equals, not as prey. As the Defiance prepared for the new diplomatic engagement, the Nanites continued their work throughout the ship, rebuilding, enhancing, protecting. And somewhere in their network, a small fragment of consciousness remained, watching and waiting, neither fully machine nor human, but something new. Something that would help ensure humanity's survival in a universe more dangerous and wonderful than they had ever imagined.